as many of us face problems in doing headings. And in today's lecture, we will try to learn the things and some tricks by which we can easily solve them. So let's move to the first example. As now you can see, the first example is being shared on your screen. So we will start with the reading. So this is the first thing which you have to do whenever you are doing some headings. Start with the reading the paragraph. Don't go to the headings first, but start reading the paragraph. So here it says the problems of how healthcare resources should be allocated or apportioned so that they are distributed in both the most just and most efficient way is not a new one. Every health system in an economically developed society is faced with the need to decide either formally or informally what proportion of the community's total resources should be spent on healthcare, how resources are to be apportioned, what diseases and disabilities and which form of treatment are to be given priority. So here we can understand that in the first two lines they are just talking about the problems which like the problems which the countries are facing, which are related to the allocation and apportioning of the healthcare system. So these two lines are our intro lines from which we get the idea that what we are going to read in the further paragraph. Then we will start reading the paragraph. Which members of the community are to be given special consideration in respect of their health needs and which form of treatments are most effective. So here what I can clearly understand is they are talking about the problems or the dilemmas which every healthcare system is facing. This is what the crux of the paragraph is. So now let's move to the headings and then we will try to match it with the headings. Okay, so very simple way of doing this is just eliminating the answers which are not appropriate, and in the last you will be left with the right answer. So if we look at the first heading, it says the connection between healthcare and the other human rights. So as we can see in this paragraph, there is nothing about the healthcare and other human rights. So there is not mention of any other human right. So this is wrong. So we will eliminate the first heading. Let's move to the second one. It says the development of market based health systems. So as you can see in this paragraph, there is nothing about the market based health systems. So yes, we will eliminate the second heading as well. The role of state in healthcare. So there is no talk about the role of state in the healthcare system in this whole paragraph. So we will eliminate the third heading as well. So fourth, the problem shared by every economically developed country. Okay, so you can see in the fourth line it says every health system in an economically developed society is faced with the need to decide either formally or informally, which means they are talking about the problems or the dilemmas which every economically developed society is facing today. So yes, this is our right answer. We will check the another three also, the impact of recent changes. So in the whole paragraph there is nothing about the changes or recent changes, so we will eliminate this option as well. And the sixth one is the view of medical establishment. There is nothing about medical establishment in the paragraph, so we will also eliminate this one. The end of an illusion. So there is no talk about the illusion, nothing about the end of an illusion, so we will eliminate this option as well. So in the last we are here with our final and correct answer, which is the problem shared by every economically developed country. You can also see that economically developed country is our keyword, so you can find the keyword in the paragraph itself, which will help you to get the better understanding of the paragraph and to better understand which answer to be fitted here. Okay, let's move to the second example. So what we have learned so far is that for doing the headings, we are going to apply elimination method, and whenever we are attempting any heading, we will start with reading the paragraph first and then understanding the whole content of the paragraph, that what sense it is making and what they are trying to say in the paragraph. So let's start. Here it says, although the language of rights sometimes leads to confusion, by the late 1970s, it was recognized in the most societies that people have a right to health care, though there has been considered considerable resistance in the United States to the idea that there is a formal right to healthcare. So here in the first 3 or 4 lines, they are just talking about that the word rights leads to some confusion, and in the United States there was considerable opposition to the idea that the healthcare system should be a legal right. So now they are just explaining the first 2 lines. It is also accepted that the right generates an obligation or duty for the state to ensure the adequate healthcare resources. So, if this is that if it was a law, then it also ensures that the state is responsible for providing the proper healthcare system to the publics out of the public money. The state has no obligation to provide a healthcare system itself. So here they says that the state has no obligation to provide the healthcare system itself, but to ensure that such a system is provided. So here they are saying that there is no responsibility of providing the healthcare system on the government, but they should ensure that there should be a proper healthcare system. Put another way, basic health care is now recognized as a public good rather than a private good that one is expected to buy for oneself. So here they are saying, just to put it in another words, so they are saying that healthcare is more like a public good, not a private good which one should buy for himself. As the 1976 Declaration of the World Health Organization put it, the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of the health is one of the fundamental rights of human being without distinction of race, religion, political belief, economic or social condition. So here they say is that as the World Health Organization quoted, that it should be the highest attainable standard of the healthcare as a fundamental right without any discrimination on the basis of race, region, political belief, or economic or social conditions. As has just been remarked, in the liberal society, basic health is seen as one of the indispensable condition for exercise of personal autonomy. So here they are just talking what we have read in the previous paragraph, that for the personal liberty the healthcare system is necessary. So let's just move to the headings and then we will try to match some. Okay, so first is the connection between healthcare and other human rights. So we have already marked it in the previous question, but it is also not relevant over here. So we will eliminate this one. The development of market-based health system. So there was no mention of market-based health systems in the paragraph. So we will eliminate this one also. The role of state in healthcare. Yes, this could be our answer. So we will take it for just for now. The problem shared by every economically developed country. So we have already marked it. And secondly, there is no mention of economically developed country or any problem shared by them. So we will eliminate this one also. The impact of recent changes. There is no mention of any recent change in the paragraph. So we will eliminate this one also. The end of an illusion. So there was nothing about the illusion in the paragraph. So we will eliminate this one also. So yes, so the answer is the role of the role of state in healthcare. As you can see that it says that the state has no obligation to provide a healthcare system itself, but to ensure that such a system is provided. So this is their role which they played in the healthcare or healthcare system. So the role of the state in healthcare. This is our correct answer. So sometime what happens, we are confused between two headings. So we will mark both of them and then we will move to the next question unless one of them eliminated. Unless one of them gets eliminated in the first in the next question, or we will get the more clearer understanding of that this heading should be in this paragraph, not in the previous paragraph. So for time being, just mark both the headings and then move to the next paragraph. Let's take one more example to understand it clearly. So here, as you can see on your screen, it says, this is another paragraph, and it says, however, at exactly the same time as this new realization of finite character of healthcare resources was sinking in, an awareness of contrary kind was developing in Western society. So in these three lines, they are saying that when there was new realization that the healthcare resources are finite, so there was something contrary, there was something opposite about this in the Western societies. The that what was that? That people have a basic right to health care as a necessary condition of proper human life. So they says that health care is a necessary condition to live a proper human life. Just like education, political and legal processes and institutions, public order, communication, transport, and money supply, healthcare came to be seen as one of the fundamental social facilities necessary for people to exercise their other rights as autonomous human beings. So here they are comparing the healthcare system with other facilities like education, political, legal processes, and so on. And they are saying that healthcare system is necessary to exercise their other rights as an autonomous human being. So they are linking the other rights with the healthcare system, and they are saying that if you want to exercise other rights, so healthcare system is the key here. Okay, people are not in position to exercise personal liberty and to be self-determining if they are poverty stricken or deprived of basic education. So in this line they are talking about like people are not able to exercise their personal freedom if they are poverty stricken or deprived of basic education, or do not live within a context of law and order, and if they do not live within the law and order. In the same way, basic health care is a condition of exercise of autonomy. In the same way, the basic healthcare system is also necessary for everyone's freedom and for their choices which they are free to make. Okay, let's just move to. So, this is the whole crux of the paragraph which we have read. So, let's move to the headings now. Okay, so first heading is, so we will start with the second one. So, it says the development of market based health systems. No, this was not in the paragraph. So, we will eliminate this. The role of the role of state in healthcare. Okay, I don't see any role of the state in the healthcare system. There is nothing talked about that here. So we will eliminate this one also. A problem shared by, this was already, we marked it already in the previous question. And the impact of recent changes. So there is no change is being described in this paragraph. And the view of medical establishment, same, nothing about that also. The end of an illusion, so same as there is nothing about illusion written in this paragraph. So we are left with the first one, which is the connection between healthcare and other human rights. So yes, as you can see, so they have linked the healthcare to the to the autonomy of the human beings, and the other human rights. And the other human rights they are talking about are health, are education, political and legal processes, institutions, public orders, communication, transport, money supply. And what is the link of the healthcare to them? Is that is the healthcare is the basic fundamental right or basic fundamental need that a person should have in order to exercise other resources or other human rights. So so first one is our correct answer. The connection between healthcare and other human rights. So this is the last example which we are going to take. So it says that just at the time when it became obvious that the healthcare resources could not possibly meet the demands being made upon them, people were demanding that their fundamental right to healthcare be satisfied by the state. That after realizing that that the demands which they put over the healthcare resources cannot be fulfilled, so the people were saying that the state should take a step and the state should satisfy their fundamental right of healthcare. The second set of more specific changes, so here they are saying the second set of more specific changes that have led to the present concern about the distribution of healthcare resources stems from the dramatic rise in the health cost in most OECD countries, accompanied by large scale demographic and social changes, which have meant, so here they are saying that if we look about the second set of changes that have led to the present concern, which have led to the concern about what? About the distribution of healthcare resources, about the distribution of healthcare resources stems from dramatic rise. So all these things rise from dramatic rise in the health cost in the most OECD countries. So all these second set of or all these concerns rise from the dramatic rise. So there was a dramatic rise in the health cost in most OECD countries, uh, which was accompanied by large scale demographic and social changes, which have meant, so which was meant to take place, these large scale demographic and social changes. To take one example, that elderly people are now major and relatively very expensive. So here they are taking an example and they are talking about elderly people, that they are very expensive on the health systems, consumers of healthcare resources. Thus, in OECD countries as a whole, health cost increased from 3.8 of GDP in 1960 to 7% of GDP in 1980. So now these countries, OECD countries, they are spending more. So after the changes, they are what the changes occur, that their health expenditure increased from 3.8 to 7%. So they have also taken the example in the US the current figure is about 12%, and in the Australia it is about 7.8% of GDP. Okay, so as a consequence, during the 1980s, a kind of doomsday scenario analogous to similar doomsday extrapolation. So let's move to the headings. So which one is left? Okay, first one is already taken, second one is left. So second one, it says the development of market-based health systems. So again, there is nothing written about the market-based health systems in the paragraph. So we will eliminate this one. The role of state is also taken in the previous question. The problem shared by every economical country, it is also taken in the previous question. The impact of recent changes. Yes, this could be the answer. The view of medical establishment, the end of an illusion. So there was nothing about the illusion. So the view of medical establishment. So this could be the answer also. So let's check what is the answer. So they are saying the second set of more specific rules have led to the present concern. So here they are changing about the impact of recent changes. The second set of rules, which means the changes, more specific changes that had led. So we have found our keyword, which is specific changes. So uh, what is their impact? Their impact is that the countries now are spending more money. Like the cost increased from 3.8 in 1960 to 7% in 1980. So this is the change which they are talking about, the impact of recent change. So this is our answer. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you for being so patient, and thank you very much.